Hi guys, welcome to MOSAX New World Empire. Alright, this is a channel where it's all about music. So if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Okay, I'm here with our sax and we want to discuss on solfa notations. We want to check what is the best music notation for contemporary musicians.
Here in New World is all about music. Pentatonic scales, all like the major scales. You just happen to move the flow and team we go. So I go. MOSAX New World Empire.
So using the two types, the broad type of music, I want to look at the contemporary music and the contrast. In contrast, I want to talk about the classical music. When I mean classical music, I talk about this this generation of music, or a type of music where everything is based on sheet music. Everything is written. That's where you have orchestras, you have a lot of operas, you have a lot. That is the kind of music that was coming before we came to the contemporary era. The classical era is the era where everything about music is written. The kind of academics is more of the academics. So it's not really the performance. If you're going to do a song in the classical era, that song is going to be documented. The writer is going to write. In fact, you can't be a writer then. Anybody can wake up now in the contemporary era and write music. You say, I'm a writer. I write music. I'm a composer. Composers in the classical era are not composers of lyrics, or they are not necessarily singers. You can't call yourself a composer when you don't know what is staff notation. Staff notation is a system where you have five ledger lines. You know, you have this other one that comes this way, or the bass clef, and then you see some hash here, number of hash here, and then then you see maybe 4/4 here, and then the cross lines, and then you begin to have notations. You begin to have notations like this. This is where, to be a composer of music at that time, you have to be able to read sheet music and then put put it into this format of notating the music. Anybody who sees the staff notation, they don't need to know the song before. They only need to read what is here, and they will just start singing that music. It is a perfect system. I call this this is the most perfect system of writing music, or of notating music. There's what we call sight singing, sight playing. A song you never knew before. If you are very good in this, they just bring it to you and you start. Because the time signature is there, the key is there, the notes are there. Whoever came up with this idea is the most perfect and the most detailed. In fact, you now begin to have imaginary lines after the 5 lines below, and they just, so in between the space there is a note. This, for example, is C. This is C sharp. The next line is D. So this one is what? D sharp. Then this one is what? E, F sharp, G. And so a classical choir sticks to this. If the key is this is 3 sharps, this is they will look at the sharp and know that this is the key. F is just 1 sharp, and then you go. I'm not teaching this today. That's not. I'm trying to bring out the point. That's why I'm not going to start teaching you. If you need this as a class, I'm going to recommend areas where you can get it in this channel and in other channels. All right, so let's continue. So they just come here and know that this is 4/4 time signature. They know the key. They know that this is a treble clef. If this is treble clef, they know that this is for the treble and the tenor and the other guy. Your part will fall into here, and then you know where is the root. You know it from the key. You begin to pick it, and then everybody start reading. Then you see them turn the next page. They start reading and singing, woo, 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 and then they start singing. If you are on the trumpet, you know where to come in. You see, you know the key. Pa pa pa, G F A D E F F E E. Then you begin to play the notes. Then you know where there is rest. They will tell you there are rest. There are stuff to show rest. There are stuff to show gap. There is even slurring. There is every signs, everything you think about. There is one sign or the other that tells you what to do. Even each note has the number of time it should take. This is a semi-brief, crochet, quiver, semi-quiver, semi-quiver. How of that? So if you have the 1/2, that's the half note, the 1/4, the quarter note, 1/8, they know the 8th note, the 16th note, and all of that, 1/32. So if you see a sign like this resting in any line, you know that that is the note. You not just read the note, you also read the value of the note, the beat. So if I'm going to say do, how long is that do? I mean that note. If it's a C, how long is that C? This system is the only system that tells you not just the key, not just the time signature or the notes to play. It also tells you where to rest, the amount of beat value each system, each note should carry. Every professional musicians believe it is what they should use because it is the most complicated and the most all-encompassing notation. You can literally just read the mind of the composer and play a song and play it exactly as the composer designed it, even without even listening to a record. In this system, anywhere this song, whatever song it is going to be played or performed, everybody, you cannot go outside this. Because this is what the composer wants. The singer must adapt. If you have said is key F or is key G or G sharp or is A, you must stick to that. And everybody just come, and you don't need to ask your neighbor what are you playing. You don't need to listen to anybody to know. There is no need for communication. There is no need for, there is no improvisation. In this classical system, there is no improvisation. There is no need to communicate. You find even the director in your front is most likely not doing anything, because he most likely just guides just your mind and then just help you get it faster. Everything you needed to see, if you are singing tenor, you know your line, you know everything. Everybody just turn and face their book. You don't even face the audience. Then music passed that era and entered the era where we talk about improvisation. Improvisation era actually begin to make this obsolete or begin to make this pass away. It's not as if it's passing away, not because it's not the most perfect system. Music crossed from just listening to entertainment. So in the contemporary era, music is not just making sound. It's about bringing out and carrying your audience and improvising and being creative about what you are doing. At that point, nobody is going to stick to what is rigid. That's why you come to church on Sunday morning, and then the choir mistress just come and say what? Change the key.
Change the song.
They just change the key, they change the song, they rearrange the song, they remix the song. Everybody is now a master. And then they also call it it's also professional, because they have begin to design systems that will help the contemporary era to fit their own to actually meet up to their own challenges, and as far as communicating on stage is concerned. I'm not here to challenge this guy that this is not the best notation. This is the best notation all over the world when you want to write music that people can read and understand. When we now get to the contemporary system, ask every contemporary jazz musician or every contemporary musician out there or singer, they use this for theory.
Yeah.
This now ends in class.
Cool, yeah.
It doesn't follow them to stage. It doesn't follow them to their performance. It doesn't follow them to whatever they are doing.
Yeah.
This is just like a theory. It became theory to these guys. What they were needing to perform before become theory. So I have never in any way imagined that I was going to stand in any stage, as far as a contemporary musician that I am is concerned, where everybody will carry paper and begin to read what is written, and maybe I'm there. Even the guy that is asked to solo a song under the system must follow how the composer had designed that solo to be.
Wow.
That limits the musician to the world of impossibility that we call the improvisation. Improvisation is what? What's the definition of improvisation? Instant composition. Creative, instant, entertaining kind of composition.
Yeah.
You are not in the box.
Yeah.
You are out of the box. You can do anything. If you join our music school and I notice that you are most likely going to be a contemporary person who want to play in a contemporary church, and you come to here and all I'm doing is I'm writing one clef, I'm writing one semiquiver, I'm telling you to read it, and then I'm writing all of these, you most likely will look at me that I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Because it's not applicable to your need.
Yeah.
I can teach you for certificate, for knowledge. I can teach you for the purpose of transcribing music that you might meet online, materials online, but in practice you will not need it.
Yeah.
I stand bold in this channel to say that this system is obsolete. Now let's go into what the contemporary guys are doing now and how we are evolving, how the contemporary system is evolving. And I will now begin to come back to what is the best of all. Even in the contemporary, there are arguments.
Yeah.
There are arguments. There are systems that we are still, all of us are still trying to, what is the best? Now, let's talk about some of those systems in essence. Now, the solfa notation, or the solfege, or whatever I call it, solfege now came up. This is not just an era that started. This is far back as when this also came up. This was also a notational system when this one was also there, but this one was pushed aside because this was found to be more detailed. It was later on, it was popularized by some other musicians that decided, no, I am best on, I think I prefer this. What is solfa notation? Solfa notation or solfege notation is when you use syllabus to actually represent notes or sounds. You kind of note your notes or your sounds with syllabus. At the end of the day, they came up with this syllabus as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and ti. Then on the chromatics, you now have this as D, here as mo or re, and then here as fi, here as z or lo, and then here is to. Whatever sound you make in this word falls in the category of 12 sounds. Da 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 da. If you after that you start again, so it's like a circle. We know at the end of the day, music has 12 sounds. Every sound you make, whether you shout or call, do anything you do, it will fall on this sound. So let us represent these 12 sounds with a syllable that we can call, because you can't have sounds and you don't name them under this system. That's the problem with this system.
Yeah.
Sounds are not named. It's only in the instrument that you can tell the sound. You can see is D is falling on this line, and this sound. So the letter way of calling the sound didn't go well with the singers. I can't be singing "You are the mighty God" and I'll go C C C C D E D C. It didn't go well with the singers. So the solfa notation became a pedagogical technique. A pedagogy. What's pedagogy? Pedagogy is the study of voice. When you teach voice training, they are pedagogists. They now adopt it. They say, no, we cannot be notating. We can't teach people with letters. They cannot sing in letters, but they can sing either in vowels or in consonant or in syllabus. So they now came up with their own system. We can't ask our students to sing in E D E F G A M. It becomes confusing to them, to their the smoothness. But the instrumentalists find it easy, but the singers didn't find it funny. The instrumentalists only need to know that, okay, this is my E and this is my F and this is my G, and then I begin to just, when I see it written, I just begin to go F E A G F. Whatever the sound is going to do is going to come out neat, because it is the instrument that is actually making the sound. The instrument has been programmed to bring out the sound, but the singer is the instrument himself. So the singers must design a way to see sound and sing it, not just play it. So they came up. It was the singers, the vocal coach, that now popularize this system. Are we together now? So it is that time you begin to see even the classical singers, not the instrumentalists now, begin to come back to sing in solfas. It's easier to sing in syllables than to sing in letters. So this guy begin to find recognition. But because the solfa notational system is not as detailed as this, if you type Google now and say musical notation, it may not, Google most likely may not bring it out, because there have not been enough research on this. It's what you put in Google that Google will bring out. As much as this has gone far. But listen, if you are not using the solfa notation, what are the limitations that it poses on you as a contemporary musician? That is what we're going to be discussing in our next class. We're going to be discussing what are the limitations of the contemporary musician who only know things in letters. It might only be too late for you to come back to the solfa notation, but you will wish you will have understand the solfa notation when we are done with this series. In the next class, I'll tell you why we in New World Empire has adopted the solfa notation system. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages to the contemporary system, not even to these guys?
All right, and I'm sure you've learned something today. And guys, of course, stay tuned to this channel because a lot is coming your way. All right, see you in our next class. Bye.